Hi guys, hi everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. I have to chew some Nicorette right now. I've been trying to quit smoking, so this has helped me a lot. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope your tanks are doing good as well. I am Jacob Castro, otherwise known as Jacob's Aquarium, here to answer your questions about the planet tank and aquarium hobby. So if you're just starting out, or you are an existing hobbyist and you just have a question, want to learn some more stuff, by all means, post it in the chat. There are some questions I can't answer because I don't know it all. I don't claim to know it all, but I will do my best to help you guys out. And yeah, let's also just talk about the hobby as well. Um, I always like to open up my live streams with, you know, an opener. I don't know what else to call it. Um, Basically, just something, one topic I talk about for like 5 minutes, and then proceed after that to answer your questions. So, one thing that I wanted to talk about was my ADA tank and how this tank is probably going to be a challenge in the greenhouse. Now, this is my first time setting up a planted tank inside of a greenhouse. Some things that I have to consider with all that is temperature, humidity, and light, most of all. So, the one thing with temperature is when it's summer, inside the greenhouse, it could be over 100 degrees. And the ADA tank is such a small body of water that it can heat up pretty quickly. Now, I say that because what I've experienced with the pond, since the pond is so massive, is at night when temperatures are cool, the pond is, about 75 degrees during the summer. During the day, when it's 100 degrees in the greenhouse, the pond will heat up, but since it's such a large body of water, it takes a long time for the pond to heat up to say 80 degrees. By the time the pond has reached almost 80 degrees, it's nighttime and the sun's going down and the pond's going to cool off again. So temperature has really never been an issue with the pond. But with the ADA tank, I think temperature is going to be an issue because it's such a small body of water. It can get cool really fast and it can heat up really fast. So that's one thing that I'm going to have to figure out, and that's one thing that'll be a challenge. Yeah, I can buy a chiller. I can chill the aquarium. Of course, I can put a heater in there as I do now for the winter time. Um, but yeah, temperature is going to be pretty challenging. So humidity next. Humidity, I've already had some issues with. So I like to close up the greenhouse so that it's completely closed up and no air can get inside or out or whatever. Um, and humidity has been an issue because I remember one morning I pulled up to the nursery, walked in the greenhouse, and the ADA tank was covered in moisture and humidity. And that's not good because over time that can, create hard water spots in the glass. And for an ADA tank, that could be a disaster and a total disgrace because it's such a beautiful aquarium. I'm not talking about like the Planet aquarium that I made, but just the tank itself. It's a beautiful tank, very well constructed. So humidity is something I have to keep under control in the greenhouse, and there are many ways I can take care of that. Um, One way is just keeping the greenhouse open so that air flows out and humidity doesn't have a chance to build up. Or I can invest in a dehumidifier, things like that. So I'll have to figure that out. Last thing that'll be a challenge with the ADA tank is light. So with the pond, you know, I I really can't say that I've had a problem with not enough light or too much light. But for some reason, I know in the back of my mind that I'm gonna have a problem with light with this new ADA tank. And let me explain. What I mean by that is like during the winter time, when it's cloudy and the sun is not very plentiful, the ADA tank is not going to get a lot of light. So I'm just, worried about how that'll affect plant growth and if the plants will, remain alive in the tank. Because some plants, without any light, period, they just start to fade away. So that's one thing I'm worried about. I might have to put a couple Kessel LEDs over this tank just to you, just for some insurance, that the tank will have plenty of light when there is no natural sunlight available. So I might do that. But all these these things, these challenges, I'm pretty sure I can overcome, but they're going to be challenging. So I will document that in future updates on the ADA tank. So stay tuned on Jacob's Aquarium on my YouTube channel, okay? So just wanted to start out with that, give you guys an update on the ADA tank and let you know the current challenges that I'm facing with the ADA tank in the greenhouse. So now that I'm done blabbering on, let's get to your questions. Um, Jackson Rap, anyone looking to sell plants? I sell plants. If you're thinking about advertising your own business or whatever in the chat, don't do that because I don't allow that. I think that's pretty rude also. If you want to buy plants, go to my website. Or if you don't want to buy from me, there's plenty of other retailers on the internet, but the chat room is not a place to advertise or trade plants or whatever. Okay. Gino asks, Blixa arbuti. Yeah, I still can't pronounce that. Are they heavy root feeders? I planted the three I received from you, wondering if I should use root tabs or not. I have no CO2, by the way. I do have Easy Green and Easy Iron and Phoenix planted. Those are all really good things for plants. The root tabs, definitely. I would definitely use those. It's just, once again, like I talked about with my own challenges with the ADA tank, it's just a little added insurance when you have something like that in your substrate. Root tabs naturally decompose over time and release a bunch of minerals and vitamins to your plants. So when they're placed at the base of each plant, it could definitely help that plant out a lot, especially considering that your substrate does not have too many natural nutrients in it, or existing nutrients in it, I should say. So yeah, definitely. I can't say if they're heavy root feeders or not because I haven't been growing that plant for a very long time. I actually just started selling that species of Blixa. There's tons of different species of Blixa, by the way. There's Blixa japonica, this Blixa, and a bunch of other ones. I just started selling that one, so I haven't got a chance to kind of get to know its growing characteristics, But I'll definitely monitor that plant in my pond and see how it does. Um, the funny thing is, guys, is that all the plants in my pond, I don't use any nutrients or anything in the substrate, and they grow just fine. So even with some of my heavy root feeding plants, um, you know, they don't get any nutrients from the substrate, and they still grow. You know, Plants are funny like that, where you think one plant is like super demanding and needs every high-tech thing under the sun, and yet here's Jacob, here's Jacob growing it in just pure sand, and it's flourishing. I don't know how it happens. Don't ask me. But it happens because I've been growing tons of plants in the pond for over a year now, and they're growing really good. Maybe it's just all the natural waste from the fish that has been produced and that's built up in the substrate over time because I never cleaned the substrate. I have no idea. Um, but probably something along those lines. Okay, next question. I'm going to try to get to all your questions the best I can. Jack Eckers says, seems like I fight algae continuously. Other than turning out the lights, what is the best method to fight algae? The best method, in my opinion, to fight algae is to use API Algae Fix. It's an algicide. It works really great. Every time I've had an algae issue in the pond, in a aquarium that I've owned, I've used that stuff. It gets rid of the algae in about a week. It'll make the algae turn white, and the algae just like dissolves, basically, gets sucked into your filtration system, and there you go, it's gone. The only thing is that you have to be careful. You have to be very careful using API Algae Fix because if you dose too much, it can kill all your plants. And don't even think about using it if you have shrimp in your tank because it'll definitely kill shrimp because I believe it contains some form of copper or something like that. So keep those things in mind. That's a huge warning. If you have shrimp, you don't want the shrimp to die because shrimp are expensive. So keep those things in mind. But API Algae Fix will definitely clear up many different forms of algae. I've seen it clear up blackbeard algae, hair algae, brown algae, green spot algae, a lot of different algae that I've experienced throughout the time that I've been doing things in this hobby. So try API Algae Fix. I'm sure that will help you very, very well. So yeah, try that. Next question comes from MPK. Hey Jacob, is it normal for a plant like Rotala walichi for a newly planted plant to turn blackish after a few days and continue to have new growth at the top? My other larger leaf plants are doing fine. You know, Rotala walichi is a weird plant. I can't say anymore. Excuse me. This Nicorette gum always makes me cough. Sorry. Um, Rotala lychee is one of those weird plants. That's why you don't see it for sale on my website because I've tried to sell it so many times, guys, and I can't keep that plant alive in my pond. I remember back when I did sell it, I would get it from my distributor and I would put it in the pond. Probably within about a week, the plant would just start to deteriorate and it wouldn't grow. It would stay the same size forever. It was such a waste. Um, so I don't know what it is with Rotala lychee. I think it's just a very demanding plant. I've heard it likes very hard water, and it even likes a little bit of salinity in the water. A lot of things that you kind of can't produce in a planted tank because most plants don't like hard water. Most plants don't like salinity in their water. Um, it's a very weird plant, you know. I would say it probably pairs best with like Java fern because Java fern is the same way. It likes hard water. It likes salinity in its water. Um, I can't think of any other plant, but like it seems like those are like the only plants you can grow Rotala with. So it's not very it's not one of those plants that you can just grow with anything. It's a very weird plant. Like I said, I haven't been able to get it to grow when I've had it in my system. So I'm not surprised that you're having issues as well. I really don't know what to recommend for your Rotala because you said it's turning black or something like that. I would just say that that's happening just because it's like it's not in the right environment. I guess that it needs, you know, it's not getting everything that it likes. So try doing your research on Rotala lychee. See what water parameters it likes, pH wise and hardness wise, things like that, and see if you can replicate those things in your aquarium, and you'll probably get some better results with Rotala lychee. But if you have other plants in your tank like swords or foreground plants like dwarf baby tears or practically any other plant, you might run into some trouble just because those plants don't like the same things that Rotala lychee does. Okay. All right, next question. I'm gonna try to get through these as quick as I can. La, 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 la. I have Eco Complete. What is a good plant to give a jungle effect? Jungle Val. Jungle Val will definitely give you a jungle effect in your aquarium. It grows really tall. It actually grows so tall that the leaves will start to curl around in your aquarium. It's a runner type plant, so it'll spread out and grow a whole bunch in your aquarium. Um, Once it gets going, your whole tank will look like a jungle, trust me. And if you mix that plant with, say, like some other fast growing plants like Hygrophila wisteria or another form of Hygrophila, like that's really the only ones I could recommend for a jungle tank because it seems like wisteria or any form of Hygrophila just looks so, it looks like you just grabbed it out of the Amazon River. It's one of those plants that just looks so natural. So definitely try those plants. That'll definitely give you a jungle look in your tank. Thank you, by the way, for the super chat, Fish Razor. I really appreciate that. Okay, next question. I have these little tiny snail and okay, wait. I have these little tiny snail, a crap load. How can I get rid of them? Okay, snails in a planted tank. I've talked about this many times. So there are many ways you can get rid of them. A lot of ways that I don't recommend, just because they're kind of risky to a planted tank. But one thing I will say that has worked for me many times is fish. Believe it or not, fish. So let me explain, okay? When I first started the pond, I filled it up with plants. I ordered a huge shipment from my supplier and I just packed it full of plants. Within probably a week, there was tons of snails in the pond. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I did my research. I looked all over the internet. I read all about snails. I like went crazy reading about freshwater snails and like every species underneath the sun and how to get rid of them and things you can do. One thing I kept seeing is people talking about using fish to get rid of snails, and a certain fish in particular, gouramis. Yes, gouramis. So you know how when you go to the local fish store, you see those beautiful fish with those black spots or the blue or the kind of baby powder blue. Actually, I said baby powder. There's no such thing as baby powder blue, but that's actually what the fish is called. That's why I said that. But these fish are really beautiful, very colorful. You can find them in pretty much any tropical fish store, and these fish eat snails. And the way you get them to eat snails, which it may sound cruel, but it's really not because eventually their natural instincts come out and they find a food source, the snails in your tank. You don't feed them. Just don't feed them any flake food. Don't feed them anything. Um, Let them, scavenge, look for food, I guess you could say. Look for food naturally in your tank, and they will start to eat your snails. I guarantee it. Because in the pond, like I said, I had a ton of snails in the pond at one time. I went to my local fish store, as you guys saw from my previous videos, the time where I went to Petco and they tried to deny me buying more than what, like 5 fish or something. I instead went to a local fish store, my favorite local fish store, and I bought like 10 gouramis, and they're huge now. They're beautiful. They look awesome in the pond, by the way. And I can't find a single snail. I guarantee you, I can't find a single snail in the pond. Every time I pull a plant out, there's no snails on there. There's not even snail eggs. I can't find a single snail. So definitely give gouramis a try. And somebody else is actually recommending puffers as well. Freshwater puffers also very good for snail control because they actually have teeth. On Aquarium Co-op's channel, he actually has a big, I believe I hope I don't get this wrong. I think it's called a Buna puffer. It's a freshwater puffer, and he feeds that thing. He feeds that thing clams, and it just chomps it up like nothing. And clams are pretty hard. We humans can't even do that with our own teeth. But this fish is just like crunching them like it's a cupcake or something. um, but yeah, try puffers, try gouramis. They should really help get rid of your snail problem. Because for me, like I said, I can't find a single snail in the pond. My gouramis, that's all they eat. And my gouramis are still alive and well, and they're healthy, and they're huge. They've been growing like crazy. So they're getting all the nutrients they need, obviously. But definitely try puffers or gouramis, okay? Okay, next question. Plans for a discus aquascape, thinking about half sand, half soil like you did. A discus aquascape is okay. So for discus, obviously the temperature in that type of aquarium is going to be really high, probably 78, almost 80 degrees. Um, so you need plants that can withstand those type of temperatures. The only plants that I can probably recommend for that is fern plants. Definitely, they can withstand high temperatures. Wisteria, Hygrophila species definitely can withstand higher temperatures. Loelia repens can kind of withstand higher temperatures. I would be careful with that one. Um, and there's another plant. Mermaid weed, not mermaid weed. Well, I think that's the common name, but the scientific name is Palustris proserpinica. That plant can withstand higher temperatures as well. So try those out. Those should be great plants for a discus setup. Just keep in mind that like the plants for a really high temperature tank aren't really the most attractive. So you're not going to be able to grow like dwarf baby tears and have a beautiful carpet or all these really colorful plants, because it seems like the plants that can withstand high temperatures just they're not the most prettiest. But if you're not too concerned about a super gorgeous tank, you just want to grow plants or want a jungle look where everything's overgrown or whatever, those plants will definitely help get the job done. But I would recommend those ones. There's probably many others that can withstand higher temperatures, but those are the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Okay. All right. Next question. Do you sell Ludwigia parensis? Yes, I do. It's on my website under the aquarium plants tab. Go all the way down to Ludwigia, and it's in that category. What are your thoughts of planted tank using 1-inch river rocks as substrate, 55-gallon low tech? Thanks, love your channel. And you. I love you too, Joyce. Thank you so much for watching. River rocks, you can pretty much consider that gravel. So if you want to grow plants in that type of substrate, you have to compensate for the loss of nutrients in that substrate. Since there is no nutrients in the substrate, it's just rocks. So you need to compensate by either dosing nutrients, injecting CO2, or having a lot of fish in your tank to produce a lot of waste that will help feed the plants. So you can definitely grow plants in just rocks, gravel, whatever, but you need to compensate for that loss of nutrients in those ways that I mentioned. Okay. All right. Next question from Jackson Rap. Do you sell duckweed? No, I do not sell the herpes of the planet aquarium world. I live in Australia, and Ludwigia hates my aquarium but loves full sun in my ponds. Ludwigia does like a lot of sun for sure. Okay. So growing wax and let's see. La, la, la. Plans for a low-tech discus aquascape. Thinking about half cent. Oh, okay, I already answered that one. Put a pond under a tree that drops lots of leaves and drops snails in. You will have an unlimited supply. Okay. Did Petco apologize? They did. They did apologize to High Heaven. They actually posted a comment on my video. It was a comment directly from the company apologizing and asking to talk to me personally. And I figured PetSmart was going to offer me some type of discount or, who knows, some type of compensation for what I experienced buying fish or trying to buy fish at that one Petco location. But I didn't really accept anything from them. I didn't really respond to them. I just said that they should, learn from my video, learn from my experience, and, consider that not every person that walks into a Petco or a big box pet store is an inexperienced hobbyist and should only be limited to 5 fish because like I mentioned in the videos before, the day after that I was refused more than 5 fish from this Petco, I went to my local fish store and I bought like 15 fish and they're all still surviving and thriving in the pond. Um, and I mean, look at other people on YouTube. Aquarium Co-op just added 400 fish to one of his tanks. I'm sure Petco is, screaming and crying right now just at the thought of that, considering their weird policies. But yeah, Petco did apologize. They were going to try to offer me some type of compensation, but I rejected it and just told them that they should learn from my video and, look at how they can change their policies to better suit more experienced hobbyists that visit their stores. Uh, Next question comes from, um, okay, do snails eat plants? No, they don't. Not that I've ever experienced. I've never had a problem with snails eating plants ever. All right, guys, we got about 5 more minutes left of the show, and then I'm going to head on out of here and enjoy my nice weekend. Um, nice weekend. That was weird. Um, So get your questions in because we only got about 5 minutes left. I'm going to cut the show off at 9:55 Pacific Standard Time. Um, Opinion on apple snails? I've never had those, so I can't really say too much about them. Let's see. Do you visit aquatic shows? I don't, but I really want to. It's just my life is really busy, and I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to, setting up a booth or whatever at one of these aquatic shows. I'd love to, but I just really don't have the time right now. But hopefully in the near future I will, because it'd be cool to do that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys that watch my videos visit these shows. It'd be cool to meet you guys in person. So for sure, I might do that in the future. People invite me all the time to these aquatic shows. There was one guy that was even gonna fly me out to like Chicago for one of these shows, and I just told him I don't have the time. I have to work. I I really wanted to. It was gonna be an amazing experience. I mean, somebody paying to fly you out somewhere and paying for your hotel and letting you experience an aquatic plant show. I mean that was going to be an amazing experience for me, but unfortunately I am so involved in my business. I am so just busy. I have so many things to do that I just did not have the time. Unfortunately it fell on one of my shipping days. So if I went to that show and I flew out there, I wouldn't have got any shipments out that day. So it sucks, but you know, that's just how it goes. But yeah, people invite me to these shows all the time, and I just don't have the time, unfortunately. But I'm hoping I'll get some free time in the near future, and I can visit some of these shows because they're amazing. From the videos I've seen, I mean, you see so much in just one day, you know, of the aquarium hobby. It's like a full experience. It's amazing. It's like the CES of the aquarium world, you know. Okay. Next question. Marco Rodriguez says, "Hello, Jacob. Congrats for all your hard work. It's really amazing. What happened to all the fish that were in the 88 tank, specifically Sunny?" Ooh, that would hit me right in the heart. So, all the fish I had in the 88 tank, including Sunny, my beautiful discus fish. I really miss that fish. God, it was so beautiful. Those fish were actually donated to a friend. A very lucky friend, by the way, because he got some pretty expensive fish. That one discus fish cost me like 80 bucks, by the way, and I just gave this fish to him. So he's better be pretty grateful. I'm pretty sure he is. But yeah, they were donated to a friend because when I tore down the ADA tank, it was really quick, really fast. I had no time to figure out where I was gonna set up the ADA tank, or I had no time to set it up again. So it's not like I could just move it from where it was, move the fish, and set it up again. So I had to give those fish away to a friend. But so far, from what I hear, they're doing great. Their Sunny is much bigger now. I've been asking my friend to send me pictures, but he has yet to do so. But Sunny has grown a lot, and supposedly he's just even more gorgeous than what I last remember him looking like in my tank, as far as what my friend's been telling me. But once again, he hasn't sent me pictures, so I'm hoping he does. And I'll definitely share that on a future video because I'd like to give you guys an update because a lot of you guys have asked about my discus fish. So I really miss him though. He was so cute and so beautiful. So, all right, guys, it is 9:55. That is the end of the show. Sorry to cut the show short, but or do such a short show, but I just wanted to say hi to you guys really quick and answer some of your questions and do a live stream since I don't do these live streams that often because once again I don't have the time. I'd like to thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you are interested in aquatic plants, don't forget to visit jacobsaquarium.com. All the plants that we've been talking about, you can find there. That's my website. There's many plants to choose from. Also, don't forget to visit or check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All my social media links will be in the description below. Thank you guys once again for watching the live stream. I really appreciate it, and thank you for supporting my channel and subscribing and liking my videos. It really means a lot to me throughout the years I've been on YouTube. So, thanks again, everybody. Have fun with your tanks, and I will see you next time. Bye.